Hi everybody, I am Julia AnchorHaven, and today we have a very special guest joining us really soon. So our guest today, who will be joining us in a few minutes, just getting himself set up, is John Whitberg. So I'm going to do his bio and get things ready, and hopefully he will join us when he can. John Whitberg is a secret space program experiencer and survivor with memories of service in projects like Phoenix, Looking Glass, Nacht, Waffen, Solar Warden. Through multiple alter identities, John recalls experiences as a diplomat, archaeologist, technology retriever. He has memories of off-world German colonies, off-world Japanese colonies, and so much more, such like Europa, Titan, Mars, and beyond. He is the author of currently 4 books, The Man with the Periwinkle Eyes, and his channel is at the John Whitberg Do You Hear the People Sing. Please go and check out his channel and follow him if you have not. I consider him to be the foremost expert when it comes to secret space program. He has so much knowledge, and I'm very excited that he's going to join us today, so I'm really excited about that. So we will be doing a live Q&A, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions. We're also going to be talking about this, the special access programs and how they are reflected in cinema. We can talk about Supersoldier programs, off-world colonies, or anything like that. So if you have any questions, please do hold on to them as long as you can while we do all the introductions and get John settled in once he joins us, and then we will start taking questions from the chat. So John Whitberg and I do actually have alters that remember each other from an off-world colony. So he was a teacher, a diplomatic teacher, an assassin teacher, that kind of thing, and I was a student, an assassin, and learning how to do espionage and how to change my language and things like that. So John will be joining us. We just need to give him a little bit of time to get ready. So his situation is not stable, so he does not have control over his schedule. So when he agrees to come on, we're never truly sure if he's going to make it, but I'm positive that he will join us in about 5 minutes or so. So hello to everybody who's watching in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us. And John will be joining us very shortly. So if you have questions, do get them ready. We're going to do a live Q&A. You can ask him absolutely anything. He does have a whole wealth of knowledge. Even though he looks young, I consider him to be extremely old, right? And he has alters that reside in his mind where he's got full access to Cal Delshau's memory. And if you've read the Man in the Periwinkle Eyes book series, you'll know that Cal was a synthetic that was involved in time missions and training on and off planet. So there's a lot of information that is available from Cal's perspective, and from other alters that John has integrated as well. So he believes he's actively in the secret space program now, that he gets taken on missions at nighttime. So yeah, so it's going to be quite interesting. So I consider John to be a bit of a mentor for me personally. He's helped me a lot in the last year. He really has helped me to bring in focus and clarity into a lot of things. And it was a relief actually when I realised that we remembered each other, that he remembered a version of me that was actually not that bad. Because a lot of my alters were in Nacht, waffen or Kruger, and they were not good. So yeah, so I'm excited. So welcome in everybody for this live Q&A session with John Whitberg. And yep, so yeah, please do like, comment and share. Subscribe to mine and John's channel if you have not already, and have a think about questions. So we're going to be talking about USAPs, which is the unacknowledged special access programs, I believe, and how the government uses those programs to hide information about UFOs, non-human intelligence, and the secret space program. So I've got some questions prepared, but I'm more interested in questions that you guys have that you would like to take this opportunity to ask John Whitberg. We did do a couple of videos together. This is probably the 4th video, I think, that I've done with John on my channel. And I'm just going to have a look at what questions I've got ready. Yep, so I've got questions about alters and breakaway civilizations. I've got questions prepared on memory retrieval technology, and so much more, generally on disclosure. So he does have a lot of information available about all of these topics. Yeah, but I do believe in his head he's very ancient. That's how I feel. And he makes me feel very young, even though I'm like twice his age. So I'm very excited to hopefully introduce John Whitberg to everybody very soon. I thought I'd just start and I get all of the bios and kind of the preamble. I just get that out the way so that when John comes in, we can get straight into asking him questions or seeing what's going on in his world. I do know that he's working on book 5 of the Man in the Periwinkle Eyes series, which is based on his alter Kyle Delshau. And this is just one of his alter identities. So he will be writing further books on different alters. And if you join his Substack, he does have 2 Substacks, you will be able to get a bit more insight about different alter identities that he is aware of and that he's integrating. Yeah. So, but he has a fantastic wealth of knowledge. We did the we did the Sacred Site series video, part 1. We will be releasing a part 2 probably next month now. So we're both working on different projects as well. So yeah, so let me know in the chat what you're most excited about, what topics you'd like to hear John talk about, and if you have any specific questions, do pop them in the chat as well. Hopefully John will come on a bit more often. Once he gets his situation more stable this year, then he'll be able to do a lot more videos on his channel and things. He's not currently promoting his YouTube that much, but I do have a playlist on my channel which has 50 videos of John Whitberg from all over different channels, like Saint Olga 69. You know, he's got lots of videos on that channel there. So yeah, so let me know what topics are most important for you right now that you'd like to hear John Whitberg speak on, and we'll see if we can get that going as well very, very soon. He did say he was going to be a couple of minutes late, so hopefully he will join us. I'm always never quite sure. But yeah, so I remember John Whitberg as Heinrich, I believe, who was like a diplomat, and the diplomats are also trained to be assassins. And I was entering, I'm writing about this in my book, I was entering into a classroom. I was female, German, and I was in his class. Oh, I hope you guys can hear me because my alarm has just gone off. Let me know in the chat if there's anything wrong with my sound right now. 1 second. Okay, good to get these things out of the way. I had alarms going off that I'd forgotten about. So I hope you guys can hear me. Please let me know. If there's anything wrong, that's fine. Okay, great. So I get quite worried when my alarms go off. It always interferes with my microphone. And yeah, so John and I have memories of being on an off-world colony, and he was the teacher and I was the student. But as I delve into these memories, I realised there was something a bit more nefarious going on. That was a secret mission, that kind of thing. So it's quite exciting. But he has limited memories of me at the moment, but he remembered exactly what I look like and how I held my hair and things like that. So I know that that is a true memory of the 2 of us, and we were friends, and we're good pals these days. So yeah, so has anybody got a particular topic, a particular planet or anything like that they'd like John to speak on, or if there's a particular movie that you are interested to know if there is reference to those unacknowledged special access programs. So he's doing a review right now on movies, and you can actually just pay a small donation of $10 and he will review a movie of your choosing and talk about disclosure, talk about the subliminal messaging in those movies. So that's something really interesting. I've actually submitted 2 TV episodes, specific episodes that I wanted him to review, going into the Voyager series, going into the Umbrella Academy series. But if you have a movie, then please do pop a message in the chat and we can just see, get a little bit of his insight on whether this is something that has reference to the secret space program or trafficking programs or implants or anything at all that you think. So one thing John and I did talk about a few months ago was the Blade Runner movies. So I think he's already done a bit of information on that, and he has done a review on Altered Carbon, but it did get rejected from YouTube due to nudity which is silly. Yeah, so you're asking about DNA. That's a great question. Yeah, is there a specific DNA? Now, I'm O negative, I'm a rhesus negative, and John is not. So that's quite interesting. So there's a lot of super soldiers that are O negative, but I believe John is not at all. So that's an interesting question. But does it allow them to have more alters active through time dilation simultaneously? That's a brilliant question, James. So we'll see what John thinks of that. He does know a lot about the mind fracturing process and the 13 cube, that we can have alters in. So yeah, please bear with me while I wait for John to join us, and hopefully he will join us. If he doesn't, we'll reschedule it. It's absolutely fine. And but he should be feeling okay enough to come on the show live. I'm trying to do more live Q&A. So if you feel drawn to, oh, that's interesting, James. And if you feel drawn to come and do a live Q&A with me one day, then please let me know and we can set something up. That would be brilliant. John is definitely a guest that I want to have back on a regular basis. So yeah, so you'll notice that I work with particular people who have a particular kind of set of skills, and John is such a good resource of information. And one of the things I'm going to ask him about and maybe touch on a little bit is that he started to get his memories straight away from when he was abducted at age 6, and he couldn't place them, couldn't make sense of them, and some of them started to kind of go back into the back of his mind until he was about 19, I think it was, and then they all started to memory flood and cascade in. Here we go. Hi, John, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? So we are
Hi,
streaming
I'm
live and I am recording, but welcome. I've already done your bio and things like that. We do have a few people in the chat, so how are you feeling?
uh tired but alive.
Okay, brilliant, brilliant. So we were going to talk today about SSP, live Q&A, and the USAP, the Unacknowledged Special Access Programs. Is that right?
Yeah.
Did I get that right? Okay, awesome.
I have I have a new series I'm working on. Is my PayPal in the bio or
It
in the
it will be afterwards, yeah.
Okay, well then I guess everyone you'll have to stick around until after the show. Um but
I'll pop it in the chat.
okay. At any rate, I am fundraising so I can escape from the abusive situation I've been in. I'm still fundraising after a year, but I'm very close to my goal. But at any rate, I have a new series called USAPs in Cinema, where I examine self-disclosure and programming in movies and television shows. And for the low, low price of $10, you can submit the name of a movie and I will cover it. For the low, low price of $50, you can submit the name of a series and of a TV series, and I will cover a season of it, and then $25 for each season after that. If you only want a specific episode or specific episodes, it's $10 an episode. I'm sorry for that. That probably seems like kind of a high price for a TV series, but TV series are a lot of work and time to get through. So, yes.
I
All
think
right.
it's really reasonable, to be honest. I'm really excited because I've submitted for 2 TV episodes, which I know is
Yeah.
not probably not what you wanted, but I've picked specific
I, I
episodes
don't
now.
mind.
Yeah,
I've had those shows on my list, so I'm yeah,
I've been waiting for you to review the shows that I have characters in.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just finding your PayPal. So we
Um,
did have one question in the chat already, which is from James Wickus, and he's asking about DNA. And he says, is there a specific DNA somebody may have that in the programs allows them to have more alters active through time dilation simultaneously?
hmm. Probably if you had more Draco DNA, you could have more of that. Because the Draco actually can split themselves into a couple million alters, which is pretty insane. But yeah, that's an interesting question.
Yeah, that is because I mean, I definitely have the draconian DNA, and I have a lot of alters and a lot of clones. So is
Right.
that why they're able to do that, do you think?
Yeah, well, clones don't necessarily share your consciousness, so like probably anyone could have quite a lot of clones. But yeah, how many do you know the number of alters you have?
Well, not so many active alters right now. I'm aware of 30 that I've have connected to and started to integrate. But clones, I mean, this time last year I had 24 million active clones out and about, and a lot of them did have my consciousness, and I can call up a map in my mind of the echo chain. So I know many of them do.
Hmm.
But obviously they don't all look like me. They don't all have my DNA, but they still run off um, my operating system, which is my soul.
Right. Hmm. That is interesting. Oh, I forgot to state one little rule of my series. I can't do Disney movies because there's just too much copyright risk. Uh, but I can do most anything else. Yeah. And also nothing that isn't like either sci-fi or horror because or espionage related films because if it's not one of those, then the self-disclosure isn't heavy enough, and also it's just boring, to be honest. So, yeah. All right.
Okay,
So,
did you set up the PayPal.me link?
uh, here, yeah, let me forward it to you
Okay, because I've tried
on
PayPal.me
Messenger.
Carl Delshau and that doesn't work. But I put the email in the live chat. So yeah, if anybody did want to just generally send a donation to John, you could do that. But if you want to get part in this series that he's talking about, it's just $10 or $50 for a series.
Yeah, I'm sending you the email or the link now.
Okay.
Uh,
So James is asking about Time Lord DNA, which is definitely something quite a few of us have, especially a few of us that are Dragon Soul family. We've all got Time Lord DNA, and a lot of us work in like as time cops and stuff. So he's
okay,
talking about that.
I just sent it to you on Messenger.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think that I'm not sure there is a single species of Time Lords or Time Cops, whatever, because when I in have encountered them in the programs, they've been multi-species. So that's yeah, lots and lots of different species actually.
Okay, that's cool. Do you want to tell us a bit about what you're working on at the moment in the background? You're working on your fifth book.
Yeah, my fifth book. There was quite a cliffhanger on the fourth one. Um, which was also probably the general consensus is that the fourth one is my best work. So hopefully I can top it with the fifth one. I'm not going to give too much away because there needs to be a mystique
Okay,
for
you're going to just give us like a one-liner for each of the books to get us kind of interested. What would you describe each book as being
well,
about?
I try to come up with a one-word summary for each one. Um, Volume 1, Awakening. Volume 2, Disillusionment. Volume 3, uh, Vengeance. Volume 4, uh, how would you put it? Rebirth, Volume 5, Darkening, Volume 6, Conclusion.
That's interesting. So I
Hmm.
was before you came in, I was talking about the connection that we have off planet, and I've got a few memories, and I'm writing about it in my book. And I believe that there was like a double agent thing going on. Which is what I'm exploring, which is quite funny.
Okay.
So, okay, so tell us how these special access programs that are unacknowledged or waived are relevant to the secret space program.
Because they are the secret space program. Um, Secret space program, I get why it's a term that's been used. It's been used for decades. It's useful, so I use it. But in what we call the secret space program, it's not called that. Um, it's called, or these things are all called unacknowledged special access programs. That's what Project Phoenix that's in my book is called. That's what Project Looking Glass is called. That's what the real MK Ultra, not what's in the files, the real thing is called. That's what my labs are called. That's what everything is called, is an unacknowledged special access program in the US. I don't know what the term is in every country, but okay, that's why it's a relevant term.
So are there other terms that people are actively using that you think should be replaced, refined by now?
Dark Fleet. Um, Dark Fleet should not be called Dark Fleet because it's an American propaganda name. The real name is Nacht waffen. Um,
But everybody's German is so bad that we have trouble saying Nacht waffen, and that's why we say
I,
Darkfleet.
I know, I know. I don't respect it. And
I would take every effort to say it now that I know it pet peeves you kind of thing. So
okay.
yeah,
And
Nacht waffen.
also Montauk Project should not be in use. Because it was never called the Montauk Project. That's a term. That's basically a pop culturized term created by a self-admitted pedophile. Um, which you know, isn't great. The program is spread across many bases. It hasn't been at Camp Hero at Montauk Point since 2014, which will be in the book. I'm not going to spoil that too much, although if you've heard some of my other shows, you probably know a little of the backstory. But at any rate, that's not a term that should be in use anymore. Let's see, are there any others? No, I don't think so. Those are the ones that I find it irritating when I hear people say them.
Okay, are there any topics in the community right now that people are talking about that you think are just not worth talking about? That they're, not important considering other things that are going on?
Not really. I do think sometimes that MK Ultra is a little over discussed at the expense of SSP because MK Ultra is basically an intro to SSP and you're in SSP for your entire life. But then I'm learning there's also a whole lot of people who work who also do MK Ultra work. So, it's I think it's maybe over discussed. I'm not saying it shouldn't be talked about though.
What do you think about when the people say that they've retired from the SSP or they're not getting taken? Do you believe that's true?
No. I'm
So,
sorry to say I
when was
don't.
the last time you think you were on a mission?
2 nights ago.
Can you share any details?
It was in a very bombed out kind of cityscape. I was wearing dark green digital camo fatigues. I had my son Max with me. We had a German Shepherd with us. I don't know what that's about. I think probably bomb sniffing or something. And we were fighting these things that looked an awful lot like the creatures in the movie. What's it called? I believe it's called Escape from Tomorrow. Uh, with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt. Uh, these black kind of formless things with glowing eyes that can phase in and out of reality, basically. That's what we were fighting. But these ones weren't black, these were dark green, and they were not as big as those things, but they were very similar.
Could you adjust your camera slightly so we can see more of your head?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, there's a question in the chat about the proper name for the project that went on Montauk. So Project Phoenix, what's the difference between 1, 2, and 3 Project Phoenix?
Okay. Project Phoenix 1 was from 1947 until 1971. Project Phoenix 2 was 1971 to 1986. And then Project Phoenix 3 is 1986 up until now. So Project Phoenix 1 began when after the Roswell crash, supposedly. I wasn't on site for this. This is what we were told within the program, okay? So they could have been lying about it, but who knows. The Roswell was a German craft. Thinking that it was an alien craft is kind of part of the cover-up. It was a German craft, though it did have a gray navigator because most navigators are grays or Draco. And it was shot down over Roswell using scalar weaponry by the US. This was in the months after Project I'm blanking on the name. The one in Antarctica where the US went to Antarctica. High jump. Sorry. Yeah, this was in the months after High Jump when they were realizing there was still very much an Axis threat. And so this scalar weapon shot down this German craft over New Mexico, and it was taken, looted, and the Americans were unable to reverse engineer the chair or reverse engineer any of it, but they found they could still open portals uh, through a fourth dimension to any other spot within 3D that they desired using the chair by putting someone in it. They didn't have access to Greys. They didn't have a treaty with the Greys. They didn't have the technology to go and capture any at the time. They didn't have access to the Draco for the same reason. So, what do you do when you don't have that? You start kidnapping children. And so that began in 1947. And they set it up at what was basically the first dumb deep underground military base in Montauk, New York, Camp Hero. And this project was very much a mess for quite a long time. They didn't know what they were doing or where they were going, really, although they did have direction from an AI, which that's a whole other story. I'll get into that in a little bit. But so it was a mess. And they were bringing in children from all over the Western Bloc, and none of them could communicate with each other. And the guards there, who were mostly Americans and Germans, couldn't communicate with them. It was a wreck. But eventually, they started getting kind of a feel for what they were doing. And at about that point in 1971, Preston Nichols took over via a silent coup, basically, within the program. And also in 1971, they created a time bubble around Camp Hero, which is why you can walk around on the surface at Camp Hero now and not see any evidence of the program that went on there. Because it's not the same place. As for how that works, ask a physicist. I don't know how that works. But Preston's reign was referred to as the Reign of Terror because it was. It was extremely traumatic. There was a lot of horrible, insane shit that went on. I'll be writing about that some on my writing Substack, which I have. It's called The Man Who Fell Through Glass. And then in December 1986, late December, December 29th, 1986, there was a revolution by the kids, by the people who'd grown up there, by everyone except for the top few dozen to a few hundred people in power at Camp Hero, which overthrew the regime of Preston Nichols, and saw it replaced with the oversight of a man called Jimmy. Just Jimmy, no surname. And mm, and yeah, that's
Can you talk a bit about JPG? Because I have a memory of being there, potentially with Drago, and
JPG. Oh, Jefferson Proving Ground.
yeah, yeah, and because it was an image that connected me back into that memory, and then you said it was definitely there, and it makes sense for me.
Yeah, I remember there was a lot of stuff with like they were testing electric universe theory uh at that place. They were they were developing certain kinds of like quote unquote free energy tech there. There's no such thing as free energy, but they were testing better forms of energy there and things with like Tesla coils and extensions of Tesla's technology, things like that. There was a whole lot of aliens there, probably more aliens there than most any other base except maybe Delphi that I've ever been to. Uh, and there was also a lot of trauma that happened there, of course. Um,
So, the Dulcie base, I do believe I was there at some point, but it's not clear. What do you remember about that?
I was only there for a few days as a child, and I was there because it was kind of a weird situation where I was being moved a lot from program to program, and I was in between programs, and so to house me, they threw me into a cage in Dulce, which was very nice of them. Um, Dulce is the land of freak chimeras and breeding programs, or breeding programs to produce freak chimeras. And so I was and the very little I saw of Dulce led me to believe, and I still stand by this, that it was 10 times worse than um, even than the very worst that Camp Hero ever got to be. There was bodies laying in the hallways. There were no toilet facilities of any kind. Um, the cages were electrified. There was, and they didn't care. The cages were one size fits all. It didn't matter if you were a 10-foot tall Sasquatch or whatever. You fit into the cage you were given or else. Um, and so I was kept very tightly compressed with a female reptilian who was also a prisoner, obviously, uh, and who protected me and basically shielded me with her body whenever Ivan the Terrible, who was this freakish creature who came lumbering through every now and again to gather people for experiments. That was what it was. And then after, I think it was 4 days, I got pulled out and taken to the next program I went to.
And this is you in this body that you're talking
I
about.
believe so.
Yeah. Gosh. James in the chat is asking about Cheyenne Mountain. I believe there's actually still a version of me there, to be honest, and James and I were probably there at the same time. What do you remember about Cheyenne Mountain? Do you remember
Okay.
being there in multiple versions?
Yeah. That's where I was programmed and split into alters, so me, and also Kyle was stationed there in the 50s, which I talk about quite a lot in my third book. Um, so you can go read that if you want to hear about what it was like in the 50s. what it was like in 2007 to early 2008 was a place where they were enacting, at least from what I saw of it, there are 37 levels of Cheyenne Mountain, by the way. In total, I've seen maybe 10. So who knows what happens in the 27 other levels.
So
But
have you watched Stargate SG-1?
yeah,
Do you think
of
it's
course.
accurate? I know. Do you think it's accurate what they're portraying of the complex?
I do. The gates don't exactly look that way, but yeah, that's pretty accurate. Um, and they use more advanced weapons than what they show in that show, but mm. um, they always do that with these with self-disclosure, is they always change details, a few details, except in Altered Carbon, Halo, and Babylon 5. Those are the only shows where they didn't change anything.
Have you
Uh,
spoken much about Babylon 5 on any videos?
no. Guys, send me the money and I'll cover it.
Yeah. So I put your links in the chat. I've also put saying, can we buy you a phone stand as well?
It's so rude.
It's all about the quality of the video, dear. Okay, so this question's from
Oh,
Diego
she's
Garcia.
pulling out the deer now.
Diego Garcia, James wants to know, do you have memories of a
Yeah,
chair at Diego Garcia? I know we've talked about the tank previously. I'm not sure if that's on video though. I have a version of me at Diego. I call her Sam. She's a disciplinarian. She's a psycho. Yeah.
I don't recall a chair at Diego Garcia. I didn't quite finish with Cheyenne Mountain and what went on there. The modern MK Ultra is a thing that I don't think is really. I think I may be the only person who has ever discussed it. The old MK Ultra was trauma-based mind control. Um, the new MK Ultra is science-based mind control. The use of technology, drugs, and mind wiping, and the use of tones and repeated phrases for to split the mind and create these altars, which is, for one thing, it's uh I mean, they're still kidnapping children to do it, don't get me wrong, but it's much easier to convince people to do. Turns out it's pretty difficult to convince people to torture children for a living, but it's not quite as difficult to convince people to do this. And it's also faster and cleaner. Uh, the old MK Ultra had rates of death between 30 and 90%. Um, either physical or mental death. This has a survival rate of 99.5%. And it is done and it's much faster as well. What used to take between 2 and 10 years now takes about 6 months. So yeah, that's what
So
the
sorry, just go back to Babylon 5. So we've got Jerry in the chat, and Jerry says that he designed the Black Spider enemy ship. Have you seen something like that in reality?
Black Spider enemy ship. Uh, what's that from? I can't.
It is in Babylon 5. I can see it in my mind. It's just, let me find it.
I have seen I can't quite pull it up what you're talking about. I have seen ships that have kind of an arachnid shape.
It might be called the Shadow Vessel or Shadow
Here,
Battle Crab.
can you screen share the picture?
No, because I'm on my cell and I'm looking on my laptop. But it literally just looks like black with legs coming off it in space. It looks like a big crab. You're checking. Thank you.
Uh,
The shadow battle crab.
okay, I remember that episode now.
Yeah.
Um, can I possibly come back on in a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. No
Okay,
problem.
yeah,
I'll keep talking.
okay,
Okay.
okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so so when John Whitberg is on, we never truly know how long he's going to stay on for, because the situation where he's in, he gets a lot of handling, targeting, interruptions, and or tech issues. So he will try and rejoin us very shortly. So please do get your questions ready for John if you are thinking about movies and things like that. He's got a series that he's developing where you just pay $10 and submit it to his PayPal, paypal.me/John Whitberg, and he will do a review on that movie or that particular episode of a TV show that is related to, future tech or disclosure, or sci-fi adventure series or anything like that. Then he will do a review on it. He's also working on something that's a little bit more scary, where they use like MK Ultra mind control techniques and things. So if you have a particular movie in mind, you just send a $10 donation to his PayPal with a note, and he will try his best to review that particular movie for you. So I'm not sure how long it takes him to do that, but this is a brand new series that he is working on. So we kind of have the exclusive on this. So I've submitted 2 episodes. One was an Umbrella Academy, and another one was a Voyager episode where they're using technology to kind of target the crew. So I'm really excited. Hopefully he'll get to them in the next month. So thank you so much everyone for joining. John will be back very, very shortly. So yeah, if you have any questions, we've already covered topics about Project Phoenix, Camp Hero. We talked about Jefferson Proving Ground, Dulcie Base, a little bit about Diego Garcia, Cheyenne Mountain. So we've talked about quite a few different topics already. So if you have a topic of discussion, please pop it in the chat and we will do our best to get to it. I'm not entirely sure how much time we'll have John for, but hopefully he will come back on in a few minutes once he gets himself sorted. So yeah, he's my favorite guest too. He really is. He's such a good, he's a personal mentor for me. So when I was reading his books, I had an emotional reaction to the books because one of the characters is actually somebody that I'm related to. So I had like an overwhelming reaction to Yoshiro Surabaya's story, especially his death in book 4. That allowed me to grieve big time, and John was very supportive. He's very supportive of my work. And sometimes you just need somebody who's very calming, don't you, to help guide you through these things. And John has been that for me. So yeah, so he'll be back on very shortly. So if you do have something that you'd like to ask him, pop it in the chat and I will do my best to get your question answered by John Whitberg. So you can visit his channel at the John Whitberg. Do You Hear the People Sing? He is now on Substack as well, so have a look for him. He's got 2 Substacks, and you can send him a PayPal and he will, just for general donation, because he's looking for support to get him out of a difficult family situation, which hopefully he'll be making steps to move forward this year, which is going to be exciting, but he does need more donations to help him do that. But in exchange, he's also doing this movie series where he will review a movie for you, do a live video, well, not a live, but he'll do a recorded video analysing a particular movie and techniques that they're using in that movie that could be related back into the secret space program or these special access programs, technology, ET. He's gonna drill it down. He's gonna break it down for us. So he does have amazing recall. That's true. Yeah. Oh, have a portal to another dimension. Hi, Jago readers in the chat. Yeah, you died in book 4, and man, did that break my heart. It really did, because it was the way you died. It was how you died is actually my preferred method of torture for one of my alters. She loves doing death by 1,000 cuts. So spoiler alert, Draco dies in book 4. One of his alters there. So yeah, so John will be back very shortly. If you've got questions, pop it in the chat. It's great to see Draco in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us. Please check out his channel, Portal to Another Dimension, where he's got fantastic videos. And we're coming up to a year. So I actually put, since I actually met Draco and realised that he was missing from my world. So it's almost a year ago now that my world changed. And boy, did my world change. So yeah, John is amazing recall. And It will go sky high soon. So he's so close to 1,000 followers. John is on like 920 followers. Please go and follow him over there so that we can get him over 1,000, get his channel monetized, so we can start taking donations over there. So live by the sword, die by the sword, says Drago Reed. Amazing. Yeah, so Drago's got some fantastic videos. Go check his channel. There's a video of Drago and I together on my channel and also on Bases, and Miles was doing a video yesterday saying that Drago Reed is coming to the UK, and I'm pretty sure that's undetermined at this point in time, but we will wait and see. So Jerry subscribed to Drago, thank you so much. So yeah, please do go and follow each other in the chat, guys, please do. And so John will be back very shortly, so get your questions ready. Get your questions ready for John. We've covered loads of topics already, and it would be great, yeah, to get some really interesting things in there. I'm just checking the chat. I'm putting in some mods, thank you. So yeah, so we've covered loads of things already. So we're looking at the USAPs, the unacknowledged special access programs. So hard to say that. So John has been in many. He's got multiple alters, and his book series is just currently about Delshau, but he's working on the 5th book, but he's going to be writing books about other alters, and he's doing like short stories as well on his Substack. So please do go check over there. Any SSP gatherings in Holland this year? That's interesting. I'm not too sure of conferences and things like that over in Europe, but I know Miles does attend some as well. I'm on team Bases, so I am preparing for the Bases 2026 International Disclosure Conference, which is June in Pewsey, which is in the south of England near Glastonbury, Stonehenge and Avebury. So yeah, so it's going to be really cool. So please put your questions in the chat for John Whitberg, and hopefully he will come back and join us. But we do have Drago Reed in the chat, so I'm hoping he's going to put in a good question for John Whitberg, which would be amazing. Thank you. So Cal Delshau and Red Mercury. Yeah, thank you. So Drago, so Jerry is a ghostwriter for lots of sci-fi. So Jerry's a really interesting chap, and he has loads of interesting knowledge that he drops every now and then about the characters, the TV shows, technology in the shows as well. So it's great to see Jerry's here with us. And Willard, not to worry. Yeah, I only have so much capacity for private questions at the moment because I'm actually writing my own memoir, dealing with my own alters, and I have my own private clients. So when people send me messages, I don't always have the capacity to answer your personal questions, I'm afraid. But I do appreciate the connection, so thank you for reaching out. Yeah, so I'm hoping John's going to come back. We will see. But if you would like to make a donation, and even it is just the $10 donations for his new movie review series, please send it to paypal.me/John Whitberg, and he will review a movie of your choosing. So yeah, you just send in your donation with a note, and on it he will take time to break it down, to see how it relates into the special access programs, into the SSP, super soldiers, future technology, on and off world planet stuff. Yeah, we've got a few Texans in the chat. Honestly, I know more people in Texas right now than anywhere else. So I'm just wondering, where's my Chicago? Where's my Jason 420? And but thank you guys so much for joining us. So this is an impromptu live. I never truly know if John is going to join us or not, so I'm hoping he comes back. I've got my notifications off, unfortunately, so he might just say, yeah, we're not coming back. Let me try and open up my messenger as well, just in case he can't come back, and then we'll reschedule. But this has been so good already. So if you've not read his books, please go and read his books. Yeah. I found I had reactions to his books. I had activations of certain wording that he used. I had activations of technology that he spoke about. And I was able to track down that technology on the planet, which is one of our gifts. And I know Drago's the same. We can track and trace ancient technology on the planet. So I was able to integrate it into my energetic field. And yeah, Kat's got her wrench. Well done. So, question for John, with ET, will we be reunited with First? In other words, with which species we'll be able to walk in a bar with first. Okay, so which ET will we be sitting in a bar with, buying them a beer? That's an interesting question. This is like, you know, the Star Trek movie where they go back in time and the Borg is involved, and the first contact, they have the first contact experience with, is it, I'm thinking Jeffrey Coxon, but it's not the right name. It's not coming out right. So encouraging Audrey Walters as you are. I'm not sure what that means. Audrey's got some interesting videos on her channel. Do go check out Starseed.net link. Hey Will, good to see you. Hey Cole, good to see you. And more artists than scientists. Okay, so Draco Reed is in the chat answering questions, which is great. Thank you so much. Talking about a standard Monarch protocol, CIA, Monarch, TBMC programs, black military factions, universities, NGOs use it there, heavy military programming center. So is there weed in space? You know, I do believe that there is narcotics in space, but that's a good question for John. Dan Guest is in the chat. Welcome, Dan. Good to see you. Eternally grateful to John for the information he shared to those of us that are listening. Yes, yeah. Guys, please be aware I read out whatever I see in the chat. It's part of my autism. I have to read what I see. So it gets me in trouble sometimes, and sometimes my moderators delete things so that I don't read them out. So if you're a new mod, please bear that in mind. Yeah, Draco has a tattoo studio in Tampa in Florida. He's an excellent tattoo artist. Dan's saying hashtag roses for Montauk. Yes. Jerry Drago's QHHT video that he did with Audrey, and he's got a couple on his channel. Please do go check those out, especially the one with Arkeem Ra as well, when Arkeem kind of channels through an ancient being, which was like amazing. So really awesome. Okay, some interesting questions there. So if you are glowing. No, I love I had a shower before I started, so it's very hot. My hair's still wet. And but I love talking to John Whitberg. He's one of my favorite people. He's a personal mentor for me. He's helped me a lot with processing my alter integrations, and sometimes you just need somebody who's very quiet and grounding, who's just going to be there, and he's that for me. So we're good pals. But great to see everybody. Thank you for watching. I'm hoping John is going to come back. I'm just going to check my messages, and it might be like, oh, 1 second, 1 sec. So I have to put myself on Do Not Disturb. He's not sent me a message, so that's good news. Okay, yeah, he's in a tricky situation where he doesn't really have control over his time, his schedule, his money, or anything like that. So please do send him a PayPal if you can to support his work. If his work has helped you in any way, his books, his video series. I've got a playlist on my channel with 50 videos of John Whitberg from all different podcasts. He's got his Substack now where he puts his more creative writing, things that are a bit darker as well. I'm trying to get him to write something that's oh no, I can't talk about it, so we'll see. But yeah, so Drago Reese has been tattooing for 25 years, and he's at the tattoo shop right now, which is awesome, so do go check him out. And check out his channel, Portal to Another Dimension, and his website is fractaloflight.com. Drago is a QHHT level 2 practitioner, I think, so he does do private sessions, and he is an expert in helping people with their SSP recall, and so much more, past life regression type work. What I didn't realize in that was it really is quantum healing that he's doing. Well, it wasn't until I watched how the session goes that I realized the tone of voice that Drago's using is activating, and even like the way he's moving his hands occasionally and stuff. It's all quantum healing techniques. And I never really viewed QHHT in that way. I know that sounds silly, but as a quantum spiritualist, as a healer, I have very similar techniques which are not QHHT, but I do vision questing, which are really similar. So yeah, do go check out the video that Drago did on Sean Bond's channel, Psionic League, where they do a vision quest. That was really interesting. And I do believe that Drago is going to be on Typical Skeptic podcast on Monday, and I will be on Typical Skeptic on Tuesday. Tonight, at 11 p.m. Eastern, Rob Khalil is going to be here on my channel doing a live Q&A, paranormal, ET, UFO, questions. So it's going to be really cool having Rob on as a guest, because he is a fantastic paranormal researcher and expert. So that's going to be super cool. Yep, so DragoReedspace.caked on Instagram to see all his tattoo photos. Dan Guest, oh yeah, conversations between Drago and Ileana are amazing. So I believe Ileana's written books about Drago, about his alters, Commander Merrick, um, which I can't read because I had that activation connected into the ship, and it's one of the worst experiences I've ever had, getting attacked by an AI ship. Um, trying to command override someone else's ship. Jesus. 25 years of tattooing. Okay. So John is going to be back in 10 minutes or less. Thank you, John, for popping that in the chat. Oh my word. So bear with me, guys. I'm going to keep the live open. And then John can just rejoin us when he gets a moment. So chat amongst yourselves. I will read out anything that's there. Okay, so oh yeah, so go to fractalflight.com to see Drago's services, or just Google Drago Reed. Seriously, like so much information out there about him. You don't know yet, but you will. Really random tarot question. Is there tarot cards that have been removed because they are against the Matrix? Is there tarot decks that have more cards in space? Now, I don't believe John would be aware about tarot in space. However, all the witches that died in the witch trials, they were actually recovered and taken into space, so that those DNA lineages are out there, basically. All the magical, all the the higher realm stuff, or like I am 12th day Danann, and Drago's probably 12th day Danann as well. So we have got that elemental Celtic portal opening DNA within us. So possibly tarot is a set system, so it's a set system of 78 cards of the hero's journey. Whether that's a set system of mind control is something that we need to do another show about, isn't it? To see how tarot really resonates with the Matrix, because anything that's going to go against the Matrix wouldn't be so widely popular, I believe. But I'm an oracle, so I work with oracle energies. I have just ordered the new fairy deck, so thank you to Sil for making that donation to allow me to purchase a new deck of cards. And lately we've been working with the yokai, the Japanese spirits, the monsters, the ghosts, and that is so funny. So please check out my early AM lives as well on my live tab. Has John ever been inside our planet, aka Hollow Earth? You know, I need to start writing these questions down. You might have to repost your question when he joins us again. So let me just make a note of some of these questions. I have zero memory. John has an amazing memory. I do believe he's got an eidetic memory. I think he's got a photographic memory. Okay, I'm just going to try and find some of these questions. I'm pretty sure he's aware of Agatha, of the inner earth stuff. And you can also go check out that latest video I did with Helena, where she talks about Agatha, and she also talks about Antarctica and how it's a fifth dimensional space, so that when you go there, you're literally a fifth density and everything's more advanced. There's ET outposts, there's houses, there's people living there. But the reason we can't see it is because we're not at that vibration. You can give me a fairy reading. Willard, I should get the new card deck by Wednesday or Thursday. So you've got to come on my really early morning lives, which are like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Eastern. We've been going live then, doing community group lives and having some fun. Yeah, see, creating your own tarot. The tarot system is set. If the system is set, the only thing that you do when you create your own tarot deck is you change the artwork, basically, and the slight perception point of view, the lens that you're looking at it through. So for me, a tarot reading is always going to be interpreted basically the same way, but an oracle, that's more exciting because you're using intuition, you're using energies from your spiritual support team and things like that. So oracle is much more interesting for me. Yeah, James got the card. The rear end with the big eye on the bottom. Which was about joy and absurdity. So that's a really good card. But you know who also got that card? John Whitberg. That's when I first got the deck. I just shuffled and I pulled a card for John, which I do occasionally. He doesn't mind. No, man, he got that card, and I thought this is perfect because he was feeling a bit low at the time, and it pulled him out a little bit. So it's always good to laugh. I am a certified laughter yoga leader, so I do lead laughter groups in person and online. The biggest group I've ever had was like way more than 60 people, and I was at an event in the UK, and the organizer said to me afterwards, "I don't know what you were doing up there, but it was so loud." Because we were, especially when you get men doing belly laughs. Oh, it's amazing. Really cleanses the energy. Have you ever tried Dark Fate's card seat? No, sorry. We could be in the same black music programs. Yeah. So a lot of music was created at Montauk. You want a Japanese card? Yeah, well, I'm working with the Japanese card deck on the early morning live, so you do need to try and catch me on the early mornings. So Danny likes that deck, so it's just really funny. But we're getting that wisdom from Japanese folklore, and then you hear me trying to speak Japanese. And Draco and I both have Japanese versions. So I have a version of me that's called Erisu Asano. And so I'm trying to work on my Japanese. I'm trying to bring forward that altar. Your laugh made me laugh. So yeah. So when you look at the Montauk documentary, Not Triggered, so that is my proof. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to be watching any Montauk documentary right now. Check out the video I did with Christy Campbell, where we tune into my alter, Kit Kat, who was literally activated for Montauk. So my mind was fractured at that point by drowning. And we talk about that. So that's what I'm dealing with at the moment. The fact that that childlike 7-year-old version of me is a lot more dominant than I realized. And there's someone in the chat who knows that. So, yes, you're going to be ordering that deck. Oh, the yokai. Hold on. Where is it? Let me find the deck. So we're talking about this deck, the yokai, the Japanese folklore. I'm not going to pull any cards right now because this is John Whitberg's video, which I am recording, so because I'm going to cut some shorts as well. Here he comes. Hi, John.
Hi, I'm back.
Hey, great, thank you. We've just been chatting amongst ourselves. Draco Reed and Dan Guest are in the chat. Um,
Hi, guys.
yeah, so everyone's been sharing such lovely messages. So, okay, there's a question about Hollow Earth. Let me try and find that question. What do you know about Hollow Earth? Have you ever been inside the Earth?
Quite a few times, yeah. There's a number of inner Earth nations, quote unquote, that or yeah. There's Agartha and excuse me, and Telos are the ones I'm the most familiar with. Agartha is mostly under East Asia and Western South America, or extending down to Western South America. Telos is under far North America. Mostly.
So Telos, is that represented in a TV show or something? Because that sounds familiar to me.
Telos.
Telos.
I don't know. I hadn't heard of that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to write that down. We'll check it out later.
Speaking of TV shows and movies, guys, as a reminder, this is also a fundraiser stream for me. Donate $10 to my PayPal with the name of a TV show, with the name of a movie, and I will cover that movie on my channel as discerning self-disclosure in it. If you pay $50 and the name of a TV show, I will cover that TV show.
Mm. So I put
I
the PayPal in the chat, and we talked about it a little bit before. There's a really interesting question here from Joe. Are you still okay?
yeah.
Your camera's off. Okay. Joe's saying that
Sorry.
they had a bad reaction when watching Preston Nichols on Supersoldier talk. Is he even human? They felt like he was Dark Draco. Do they attach to people? And she says, love reading your books.
Okay. Draco do not attach to people, no. there are Draco get a lot of blame for things that happen that they just simply did not do. Because to be perfectly realistic, there are a lot of shape-shifting entities, non-physical entities. Draco are physical 3D creatures, flesh and blood, just like us. If you shoot one with a gun, they die. If they don't have food and water, they die. If they don't have sex, they get frustrated. Um, etc. Uh, there are shape-shifting entities that take on the form of reptilians when they attack humans because humans find reptiles scary. Um, whether that's who knows where that comes from. Maybe it's a reaction to our ancient ancestors who lived among dinosaurs. Who knows? For some reason, humans find reptiles scary. So entities, I don't use the word demons because that's a pretty loaded term, but entities will take the form of reptilians when they attack humans, oftentimes. Or they'll take the form of someone from your past. So I am sure that Preston Nichols, given what he was like, what I remember him being like, and what other survivors remember him being like, had many, many entity attachments. So yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So if anyone's got questions for John, please pop them in the chat. There was a question about tarot and like divination in space and tarot relating to the Matrix. So in space, do they do divination? Do they have psychics?
They do. I've never seen them use tarot before. In the colonies that I'm familiar with, they have vril women, which are women who use a combination of a form of sex magic. It's not sex magic, like it's not like sex magic as we would understand it, but it is using orgone energy in combination with various drugs, usually DMT, uh, for divination purposes. And they fill the role of the various kinds of psychics we have here. And that's what the Germans use. The Japanese use like classical Chinese oracles. Uh,
Like I Ching, that kind of stuff.
yeah, where they throw down the sticks and stuff. I don't know how it's all supposed to work, but that's what they use.
Okay, there's a question from Draco and it's saying, what's your favorite sci-fi movie that sums up the SSP and why? Yeah, and if people can put questions in capital letters, that really helps me. Thank you.
Okay, movie that sums up the SSP. I always, when if people ask me that question, I always go back to TV shows, but a movie. Probably either Elysium or Blade Runner. Uh, or no, not Blade Runner, actually. Blade Runner 2049, more so. Which one do I prefer or is better?
Did you already do a review on Blade Runner 2049?
No, I haven't done either of those movies.
Okay, so people can request that if they send the donation.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
yes.
awesome.
It's only $10, people. And you get, I take screenshots of everything that has disclosure-ish elements to it. I make a music video at the end. It's great. If you've seen my Altered Carbon video analysis, which I did some months ago, it's like that, but I think I can even make it better now because I
That was
know
so
more.
good. I found it on
Yeah.
Rumble with English subtitles or whatever. It was dead good. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
So,
oh, sorry, go on.
I th between those two, I slightly lean more towards Elysium as being more better because it's accurate.
Hmm.
A slightly more accurate. It has, if you haven't seen it, it's basically about a dystopian future Earth, that is based on Mars. Uh, where all the people are poor and basically slaves to a cyberpunk society while the rich live in space on this really fabulous space station. That's more or less what Mars is like these days. Um, it has the Kruger name thrown in. The main, well, no, not the main villain, but the main villain's henchman is named Kruger. Um, the main villain is modeled after Angela Merkel, which is interesting. And that's not a coincidence at all. I have some very fucked up stories with Angela Merkel. Uh, it has one little thing in there thrown in that is directed at me, I'm pretty sure, where the main character is named Max, which is a common enough name, but at one point, at a couple of points, he's referred to as Mi Pequeño Max, which that's what I call my son Max. Is so that's hmm.
Okay, there's a question from Dan, and it's saying, how often did Ezekiel leave sandwiches under the tree?
Only real John Whitberg fans know that one. Um, uh, pretty much every day if he wasn't off base, which he often was. There's a little song that references him. It's called Lost Boy. And there's a little lyric, my only friend was the man in the moon, and even sometimes he would go away too. That's Ezekiel. That's what the kids called him, was the man in the moon. Um, so many kids had Peter Pan programming that the terminology leaked into everyday conversation. Because oftentimes they would just be playing Disney movies in our heads via V2K all day. Uh, yeah.
Okay, next question. About Ender's Game. What can you tell us about Ender's Game? Are there any parallels there?
I read the book. I only watched some of the movie because honestly, the movie was pretty lousy. Again, if you pay the fee, I will still cover it though. Um, and the book was it reminded me a lot of My Alter Heinrich. I'm sure it wasn't based on him. There are plenty of diplomats in space or plenty of kids in the programs who are made to talk to aliens, but it did remind me of him where he had to play virtual reality war games and eventually become an interspecies diplomat. So yeah, that's very much a real phenomenon.
Okay, cool. So Alita Battle Angel, you've been trying to get me to watch that for a while, I think. I've seen little clips of it. Um,
Yeah,
the thing is, there's truth to that, and Dan is also saying that he loves that. And there's German black programs, references to German black programs using Panzerkunst technique, which is creative terminology talking about Lynch Soldaten fighting techniques.
yeah.
The German's pretty
Uh,
lousy.
apparently in the anime, which I haven't watched yet, it's even a lot more explicit. In the anime, they straight up talk about how the Nazis won the war and everything. Uh, so yeah, you could never get away with that in an American movie though. So
What about the technology in that movie?
yeah, I haven't seen it in quite a long time, but there are battle angels, quote unquote. There are like synthetics who have wings and such. In fact, I specifically remember when one was developed, and it didn't work out very well, but it was the 70s, so they have perfected it since.
Okay, so talk about your favorite movies, the favorite TV show that people should definitely watch right now after this live stream.
Well, Altered Carbon, but I've talked about that one enough. So after that, Halo. Both seasons. Um, Master Chief, there's a lot of people who claim to be Master Chief. I don't know. I don't necessarily know that I have a character in Halo. There is one character who I very easily recognize, which is Dr. Halsey, as she's called in the show. In my book, I refer to her as Dr. Simmons. Neither of those are her real name, but either way, she's basically, or was basically, the female Mengele um in the programs. So yeah, that's fun.
So
Yeah,
we got Matt West in the chat from Australia, and he's saying about so I'm currently reviewing Australia SSP and the work with the Commonwealth and how it ties into a bigger program. So are you aware of any Australian super soldiers that you've encountered over the years with your alters?
yeah. I don't know about. I have a lot of difficulty remembering sound, to be completely honest. So I very well could have encountered a million of them, and I very well might not know it because I can't remember sound, so I wouldn't know their accents. I've encountered plenty of them here in the SSP community. There's a few who I'm in regular contact with. So yeah, there's plenty of
Oh, that's good.
Australia. Yeah, Australians are English, and English people are Germanic. So there's plenty of that going on.
Just adjust your camera, please. And there's a
Ugh.
question, sorry, about did the Nazis in fact win the war? The Nazis. That's a question in the chat.
Yes, and the Japanese. Yes, they did. Um, the Americans thought they had won, but then when they heard about Base 211 in Antarctica, which the Nazis and Japanese were already kind of in the process of leaving, it was only a stopover point to leave Earth entirely. But they were down there preparing to leave and developing technology and stuff. And I shouldn't say and stuff, that's terrible prose. And so on. And the Americans rather foolishly decided to follow them. They had their asses handed to them within 5 minutes. And that ended World War II with a decisive Axis victory.
So you start your books with breaking down things that people need to know, and one of them is about that kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's right at the start of your book. So please do go and read the books, which are available on the archive website for free, or get them on Amazon. I'm doing book
yeah,
reviews at the moment. Yeah, so I'm going to
or
review one soon. Yeah.
yeah, or do the audiobook, which is on my YouTube channel. By the way, guys, if you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe already. I need 80 more subscribers so I can accept super chats and such. And
Mm.
I believe at that point I can also mobile stream.
Well, I'm on my mobile right now,
Oh, okay.
but I'm
I
using
guess
Zoom,
they
and
I guess
I
well,
go live every day from my cell every morning.
okay. I guess they changed the uh requirement.
Mm.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the TV show Sense8?
I've never actually watched it. I've heard of it.
Okay, can you add it to your list, please? Because there's a moment where they're all kind of all across the globe, but they're all connected in their mind. And guys, that
Okay.
scene where they all get together and it's a sex scene basically, and it's amazing. Can't believe we're talking about it. But yeah, so that came from Dan. He's asking about about Sensei. But yeah, that's definitely if you guys submit the $10, John will be able to go and do a review on it. Okay. If you want the full season reviews, it's $50. So please bear that in mind. It's a very, very good show. Yeah, if people are not getting notifications at the moment, please unsubscribe and resubscribe. So Jason's in the chat now. Thank you, Jason. putting your YouTube on there. And the PayPal is here for if anyone would like to donate. It's paypal.me/John Whitberg. Um, and yeah, he's got a Substack as well, so do check out the Substack. Okay, so
Yeah, I have two Substacks, in fact. One of
Okay.
them is my video library, by the way, guys. Please subscribe to that as well. I'm trying to get the day I have one more subscriber on Substack than I do on YouTube, I'm abandoning YouTube entirely because YouTube is shit. Um, and it's full of censorship. I'm not. So yeah.
Okay, there's a question from Kitty Cat Samurai, and they say, will we ever get to use the medbeds created by the Mantid empires?
They didn't make med beds. They made regen tanks. I sort of doubt it, to be honest. Maybe someday they'll release them, but you'll have to pay an insane amount of money to use them, which is how it is in the Breakaway as well, by the way. Regular people don't have access to regen tanks in the Breakaway either. You have to either be very, very wealthy or you have to be uh in the military. If you're not one of those things, you won't make it, which is why in the book I talk about a very dear friend who was called Yoshiro Surabaya, Altar of Drago, who is in the chat right now, still presumably. Who where was I? Oh yeah, who died and could not be regened because he wasn't officially military and he wasn't wealthy and no one else was wealthy around him. So yeah.
Yeah, that broke me. That. So Drago's
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Drago's commenting and saying they drowned us as children in order to program us to breathe in the fluid in the regen tanks into your lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, my alter that's come forward from that process now, she's 7 years old and she's a bit of a brat. No surprise there. Um, but there was a question. Sorry, there's a question about your writing process and does it bring forward memories and what's that like for you when you're trying to write your books?
I wouldn't say it necessarily brings forward memories. It reveals more detail of memories I already have, though. A lot. And usually when I'm in the process of writing, I realize I had remembered something wrong, or I had misattributed something in the past, or something like that. And I have to adjust it in the writing because I realized I hadn't examined it in enough detail before. Um, and the writing process, honestly, it varies from day to day. Some days I write from when I wake up in the morning till I go to sleep at night. So I'm writing for 16, 17, 18 hours in a day sometimes. And sometimes all I can manage to think of to write is a single sentence. Um, but I always, always keep to writing a single sentence a day because I will eventually finish my book if I write one sentence every day, at least. So, yeah.
I'm trying to write at the moment. You've been very supportive. Drago's saying everyone thinks you have a mouth cover and you breathe oxygen while in the tanks. I know that's not true either. So I
Yeah,
know
no, that's
James is in the chat and he has these dreams where he goes like
uh,
into the astral and he wakes up in a tank. So when you
hmm.
travel into your other body, do you ever wake up in a tank?
Sort of. It's not a fluid tank, it's a cloning tank, though. It's a so it's pressurized air in there to wake up in and adjust to your new body for a few minutes before being let out. Um, yeah, oftentimes when you go into those tanks, uh, the tanks of fluid, you can't even breathe because you're dead. So like yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
To
So a
think
lot of
you
people
have
are
up
saying that
there.
they had a mask on in the tank, but I don't remember that. I can
Me
see
neither.
tanks. I can see it in my mind. So
Yeah, maybe it was a different kind of tank these people are talking about, because
Yeah,
there are other kinds of tanks, but
yeah. So it's a question about Dan saying there's something about Stephen King's The Dark Tower, not the shit movie, but the books, audio books that hit hard with him. So have you read The Dark Tower?
I have not, I'm sorry to say.
Um,
Uh,
because
yeah.
we have that thing about the tower. You remember there being a tower, a black tower helix thing, and I get kind of a vision of it, but I can't get it clearly in my mind where it is. So yeah,
Yeah, I can't either.
yeah. Interesting. So, any last questions for John Whitberg? I am live again in half an hour with So Matara, the Palladian Child. Um, but
Oh,
John, if this, yeah, go on.
I wanted to address Jerry a little bit. He's saying he designed all of these things. Jerry, I'm sort of wondering if maybe these things have been V2K'd into your head without you knowing it, so that you would then incidentally self-disclose it. Um, because like that's it is interesting that these things were if you design these things, but they're also real, and these are in soft disclosure media.
It's like Star Wars as well, isn't it? And Star Trek. That's all V2K'd
Yeah,
in.
yeah, and so was everything that George Lucas created apparently was V2K'd in, because or it was SSP recall that he didn't know, because there's an interesting story. He was a race car driver. He got into an accident and he went into a coma, and then he woke up with the ideas for Star Wars and what's that other movie? THX 1138 fully in his head, and he was like, "Okay, no more race car driving. I want to be a filmmaker and make these stories." So interesting.
Yeah, so Jerry's a ghostwriter. He gets a lot of inspiration and he sends that into the studios. But a lot of his characters, like Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and everything, that's all come forward. I did ask you about the Trill, and you said that you'd not encountered a species where they had a symbiote in their body that was conscious,
Yeah.
that went to multiple sleeves or whatever. Um,
Yeah, but there's so much disclosure of it in things. They also had it in Stargate, and I think they had it in
yeah,
I think it was in some other something that I think it must exist somewhere. I just don't recall encountering it.
yeah, yeah. Because for me, that would be you. You would be a Trill because you're so old, but your body is so young. So there must be an element of you that's like an old symbiote somewhere in your body. I'm sorry.
So
Before
mean.
I know, before we finish, is there anything that you would like to share about what you're working on, what you've got coming up? There have been questions asking how close are you to your goal as well, your fundraising goal.
When we started stream, I was $500 off of my goal. I don't know if I've reached it through fundraising since. I will see. Um, I, but even if I have, guys, you can still send me money. Every little bit helps anyway. And also, I do want to review these things. I'm, but I can't always do every bit of work for free.
Yeah,
I
I'm
give
very
you my
excited
and
about this series.
and the reviews will be for free, by the way. They will be for free on YouTube and on Substack, so you can watch them. But if there's something you personally want reviewed, it's $10.
Yeah,
That's two bottles of Coke.
it's true. So
Yeah.
please support John's work. He does put a lot out there for free to support the community. He is available for people far too much, and is a very good
that
mentor as well. Thank you so much.
that are you calling me a slut?
No,
Um,
no, please.
I couldn't resist.
What?
Uh,
You're awful. You are terrible. Kat is writing Khan in the chat. So are we
Con?
talking about the Wrath of
Oh,
Khan? Okay.
okay. That's the one Star Trek movie that I really like. I
Okay.
I'm somewhat infamous in that I don't really care for Star Trek that much. I think it's too
We have
fluffy.
no longer friends.
I, you knew this about me.
I just like to put it out there because I'm a super Trekkie. I really am, like
I
overdrive.
know. I know. I find it too fluffy and sweet. I get that that's part of the appeal, but like it's.
It's just
I
about
I
a future where everybody is equal and they get to do things that they love to do and they don't have to worry about paying bills or whatever, and
I
they
know.
explore. And what's wrong with that? But there's a lot of disclosure
Nothing.
in Star Trek, so I'm going to send you some episodes to review. I've already sent
Okay.
you a Voyager episode, but I'm going to send you some Next Generation, some Deep Space Nine, and
Okay.
some of the newer stuff as well, which is
S
clear, terrible disclosure.
Look, send me uh the Measure of Man episode. That episode is. Even as a non-Star Trek fan, I acknowledge that episode is some of the best television in all of history. Um, okay.
Okay, that's great. So, any final question for John? Pop it in the chat right now because we're going to be finishing. So, I am going live very soon with Soma Ara from Ireland, the Palladian channel. She will be doing donation-based readings. But please do support John on his channel at the John Whitberg. Do you hear the people sing? He's so close to 1,000 followers now. Please go and follow him over there. Read his books, listen to the audios. Personally, I found them activating. I've been able to connect into other Soul Family versions. I've been able to track and trace artifacts on the planet from reading books 1 and 2, and which is quite rare. But yeah, so please go and read the books or listen to the audio or buy the books on Amazon. So I will do a book review on book 1 soon when I find my copy of book 1. Can you just answer the question about Pepsi and space, please? Because there's a whole Pepsi chat going on right now. And Drago's trying to
Yeah.
shame me, just like Sean Bond shamed me and called me a cannibal live on his channel recently. Pepsi has male aborted fetal cells in it as the flavoring, is what Drago is saying. Yeah, I have 1 trillion contracts with PepsiCo on and off planet. 1 trillion, guys. Give me a break. I'm working on it. What's going on in space with Pepsi, please?
Yeah, PepsiCo, they make both their regular sodas from here. I don't know if they still use aborted fetal cells, but maybe they do. And there are also fancy ones which have nanites in them that can enable you to have abilities light telekinesis, light remote viewing, uh electrokinesis, or no, not electrokinesis, but technokinesis, the ability to activate electronics with your mind. Electrokinesis is like when you shoot lightning out of your hands and stuff. Technokinesis is connecting to technology, and learning languages. I had my alter Jared drank a bottle of Pepsi which had uh nanites containing Russian in it in order to learn Russian in 2 minutes.
That's the kind of Pepsi I can get on board with. Is there Galaxy chocolate in the galaxy?
I'm unfamiliar with Galaxy chocolate.
Oh, I'm
There,
gonna
uh,
I'm
there,
gonna take
there
a
are
photo. Yeah,
there are Mars bars,
in
and they
Mars.
actually, yeah, they are actually from Mars.
Okay. Jerry says he's your biggest fan. Basically, he's in Delaware, and
Aw,
yeah, he's your biggest super fan. He's put. Um, Draco's basically put something again. Pepsi shaming me. That's why you love it so much. You're contracted and programmed like a spokesperson. So that's my SSP brother right there. Pepsi shaming me. Thank you. Anyway, he says, got to call
uh,
it out when I see it. John's correct about the nanites. They are in Pepsi as well. So, yeah, do you think that'll ever come here that we'll be able to, just take that in? I'm just going to grab a book, actually.
it would be nice. They are extremely expensive even out there. They're like $120 a bottle, but the equivalent of that in I can't remember what the currency was. I just somehow in my head know the conversion. It was about $120, but um I would like if we got that. I would like to be able to relearn all of these languages that I hear in my memories and don't understand. Because that's, annoying. Very annoying.
So I was looking for a book, but I can't find it. It's a children's, like a teenage book called This Place Has No Atmosphere by Paula Danziger. And that book was activating for
Hmm.
me when I was a
I,
teenager.
I think
And
I've read it.
have you? Oh my word. So
I,
yeah, I need to do a book review on that book and how it impacted me when I was like 14, 15, going through SSP training. Wow. Pepsi Haven in the chat again. Guys, come on, give me a break. I'm working on it. At least it's not Tower Haven. Okay. Okay, John, final words to everybody. Thank you for doing this, by
um,
the way.
thanks for your money. Very much. No, but I mean it though. I mean it.
Yeah.
And I hope you all have learned something. We'll do more of these Q&As. This was fun. Uh, this is a lot easier to do. I'm starting my series for free. It's a thing. I had the idea for it. I'm starting it with Alexander Cherkasov out of Russia, who has done quite a lot of my interviews on my channel already. We're starting off with a review of The Shining. So, uh, yeah, that'll be good. And for an introduction to the concept in general, go to my Substack and watch my Altered Carbon review, but also don't watch it unless you have seen Altered Carbon, because otherwise you won't get anything out of it. Okay.
You need to watch Altered Carbon twice and then watch John's review on Altered Carbon. Basically, it's so good, especially episode 5. But I'm just biased. Everyone says they want more. Thank you so much. They're so grateful. We love your work, John. You're very supportive and we really appreciate it. We do love you so much. Please support John with the PayPal. He is trying to get out of an abusive family situation. So it will change his world if you donate. But you could just for
Yes.
$10, he will do a movie review for you. And that takes a lot of work as well. So we appreciate you. Yeah, shout out to San Olga 69 as well. Dan says great interviews over there. I've got a playlist on my
Yeah.
channel, 50 of John's videos linked in, so on all different channels. So please do go and check out that playlist. Follow John on all of his platforms. And thank you everybody for joining us. It's been so cool.
Okay. Thanks, guys.